Hello, welcome to our group meeting tonight. This is Nursing 540. We are section 203, Adolescent. My name is Sharon, and I am the group leader for this week.
I am Joni Morris, and I am the scribe.
I'm Alex, and I'm the submitter.
I'm Linda, and I am the facilitator.
I'm Dixie, and I'm the timekeeper.
So this week we constructed a tool last week, a health assessment tool, and we named it. Oh, I always have to look at it, or I will get the letters wrong. We named it the
ADJLS.
Thank you. The ADJLS Quality of Life Assessment Tool, and we are using that tool to measure our adolescents at risk for obesity, and we actually had a chance to put it into practice and to find out how the tool worked out. So, Dixie, who wants to start and tell us how it went with their tool, what the results were, and how they felt the tool worked out?
I can start.
Okay.
60. So I used the tool or administered the tool to two adolescents, a boy and a girl. Neither were obese, but they both were able to do the tool easily. The 12-year-old had difficulty with question 7 and required a little bit of explaining. That was regarding stress. Health. And overall, they're active. They eat junk food occasionally, but nutritionally they are doing pretty well. And their lowest scoring was in the family area, so low family participation.
Okay. I'll share mine. Mine was actually on a 15-year-old that is obese. Her BMI came back at 30.5. And I felt like there we go, I couldn't find my mouse. In the health perception, hers was pretty much low all the way around. Her highest score wasn't in health perception. She scored 1, 2, 4 in the health perception area. But in everything else, it was there was a need for improvement. I think she kind of got a 4 because she felt comfortable talking to the doctor about her weight. But as far as nutrition, where it says I try to stay away from junk food, that's a never. She only ate fruits and vegetables sometimes and never ate breakfast. I felt she was kind of okay in the stress area as well. She does make an effort to understand why she's stressed. She often made an effort to like herself and to know what is important to her. But then in the physical activity and the family life, it was zero in both areas. So no exercise, no energy, not even able to do chores without feeling tired, and nothing with the family, and definitely a lot of screen time. That was also an issue for her. So I felt like in her instance, since she was obese, that this tool showed areas that could be worked on that were actually, probably contributing to the problem. As far as I could clearly see the diet and the exercise limitations and the family life. Like it was a clear thing. Like, okay, these areas can be worked on, and actually your lifestyle is contributing to the obesity.
I'll go next. Are you all set, Sharon?
Yes, I'm all set. Who wants to
Okay,
go?
so I did this with a 17-year-old. She is not obese, but she's kind of on the cusp. Her BMI was 27.6, so she's considered overweight. Her lowest scoring section was also in family life. She got a 0 across the board for all the questions. So that kind of shows that the lifestyle and her surroundings might be contributing to some of her issues. Her health perception was also pretty low. While she does feel like she's sometimes healthy and she's not held back by her weight, she's not comfortable with it. She only got a 3 in that section. Stress and feelings and nutrition, she did okay. She got 6s. Those were her highest scores. It says that she tries to eat fruits and vegetables, and she does try to stay away from junk food, but still those aren't very optimal scores. And she got a 3 in physical activity. All of her points were in that she does exercise at least 3 times a week, but that's not helping her with her energy throughout the day. She put never for feeling energetic throughout the day and doing her chores and tasks without feeling tired. So, yeah, I mean, I think it seems, at least with you two, that family life, the family section is our lowest scoring so far.
Okay. Who wants to go next and talk about their results?
I can go next. Oh,
Either
go
way,
ahead.
it doesn't matter. Go ahead, Joni. I don't mind.
Okay. And sorry, I lost internet connection, so I missed the first part of your sharing. So I did a 17-year-old female, and her BMI came in at 20.9. Overall, the scorings were pretty good. She had a 32 out of 45. Her lowest score was the screen time of 2+ hours, and some of that was contributed doing the homework online. But let's see here. And then the other lower score was sometimes making an effort to understand why I'm feeling stressed. There was quite a few offens, and then it was interesting because in the physical activity she was at always for exercising and feeling energetic throughout the day, and then she had often for doing chores. So I asked her about that, and she clarified that she gets bored. She doesn't get tired, she just gets bored. So again, kind of following suit the screen time, so more of a at risk for sedentary behavior for this person.
Okay. Very good.
All right.
Go ahead, Linda.
Okay. Well, I did my assessment on a 13-year-old male who was defined as obese. At 28.2 was his BMI. And going through all the different focuses, his health perception, it wasn't, he scored a 2. He didn't really feel like, he wasn't really concerned about his weight. He wasn't uncomfortable in sharing his feelings about it. He didn't see any need to change there. His nutrition, he just kind of ate whatever, whenever. Basically, the only green vegetable he would eat was broccoli. He would resolve his stressors, I guess you could say, by using candy or something sweet. His stress and feelings, he didn't know sometimes why he felt the way he did. He generally just used candy to help alleviate that. He likes playing mainly with his younger brother, so that kind of helps him out as far as his stressors. He doesn't have a whole lot of friends at school. He doesn't participate in any activities outside of school, such as baseball, football, basketball. So his activity level's pretty minimalistic at best. He pretty much just kind of hangs in his room and is a loner if he's not playing with his brother. His family life, his parents worked off shifts, so one's working, one's off, and vice versa. So they don't have quality family time very often. And so that was one thing that I thought also could be very helpful for him. Is he doesn't get to sit in front of a meal time once a week or once a day, even with the entire family because of their work schedules. So I think overall he needs risk prevention in each one of the categories. The only thing I scored him well in is he doesn't stay on the computer or watching TV or on his Game Boy any longer than 2 hours a day. So that was the highest score he got in the whole entire assessment.
Okay. So in that, did you feel like that we had enough questions in each section to really evaluate that there was an issue?
I didn't. I feel like there was like a little room to learn a little bit more in some of the sections. Just like my subject, like I said, she would exercise and eat right, but she's still a little overweight, and it's kind of like, well, what's contributing to that? I don't know if like a family history or why doesn't she have energy? Is she eating right? Like it says that she tries to eat vegetables every day, but is she eating enough? Or I don't know. I feel like I guess there's always going to be room to learn a little bit more, though.
I think it's the probing and the drilling down is what you don't have with the limited amount of questions. So you can't really delve into it without making the questionnaire really large.
Right.
I added a few. I reposted it, but on the first and the health perception, I just put in there being healthy is important for me because we didn't really ask that question, and I think that's important. And then on the nutrition, I was thinking I put in I have healthy snacks to choose from at home because we're asking them about junk food, but do they have options? So I thought that might be a good one. And in stress and feeling, I added 8 hours of sleep because sleep is important. Both, I don't know why it ends up under that category, but it does.
Okay.
But it can also add to obesity. I think in exercise, I put in there it's a question about access to like a park or a community center or somewhere safe and easy to get to exercise. And then I moved the fast food down to family and put my family and I eat fast food 2 or more times a week. But that's not the one I used for the kids when I did the assessment.
Dixie, when we were had some technical difficulties, we were going to see if you would mind doing 7 and 8, which I think would be great. Number 7 is about changes for the tool and why, and that would be great. Is there like a noise? Do you guys hear that? Okay.
Sirens.
Fire truck.
Oh. If you wanted to, because there you could talk about how adding more questions and adding the scoring.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Sure, that's fine.
Because we were kind of talking about how if we all did sorry, and then Alex will put it together. But I just thought of that now while you were talking about that. Sorry.
Okay. So then we can. Does anybody else have anything they want to add about the tool that they felt limited with, or?
So Dixie, you added those questions to each to the updated little tool here. Is that what you were saying?
And then I also put in a like for the scoring and interpretation. So
yeah, I'm looking at that now. Thank you for doing that. I tried to like sit and think it out. We needed that.
Yeah.
We didn't think of that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm looking at it. So now we have 20 questions versus 15. So that's good.
Well, that's good. We learned from doing the questionnaire what we needed. It actually, Dixie was able to do it and figure out the limitations and that, the things that were needed from actually practicing, from actually submitting it to some or administering it to someone. Very good, Dixie. Thank you.
So I have a question as far as gathering information. If you guys could share like what you felt the strengths were, like Sharon just kind of brought up, and then I can gather that information. I think one of mine is mine. Participant was able to complete it independently without difficulty.
As was mine.
See, mine was older. Was yours older, Alex, too, at 17?
Yeah, she's almost 18.
Okay.
Yeah, mine was vocal, Joni. Mine was very talkative and interactive, so
Okay.
that's a strength all within itself at that age.
Talkative and interactive.
Uh-huh.
So mine, I had to send. I emailed, and then they did theirs, and then emailed it back to me. And then I asked them to circle any questions or let me know, give me any input. And so the only one was number 7 that the 12-year-old had a hard time with.
Okay, so number 7 needed that clarification for a 12-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my person was 17. It was pretty straightforward. They were they understood the questions pretty easily, and it was, they were pretty independent. But as I said, I did administer mine in person. I don't know if that made a difference. In them understanding what what I was trying to accomplish.
So maybe that could be a focus, that in person we could have that dialogue, and that was more of a strength, but a limitation is if you're, doing it long distance, if you, weren't able to follow up.
Right. And I guess Dixie was saying some of the questions were not easily understood because our age range is was it 12 to 18? Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big difference for some of these questions.
Correct.
Understanding.
It is. That was the only one that she found a little bit confusing. So when I reworded it, she understood it, and I don't really understand why. It wasn't really very different. But so I did reword it on the questionnaire. The one thing that I think was good about it is it's short, so it doesn't take very long. It didn't take them. It only took a few minutes, so it would be a tool that I think would be good if we were using it at like the clinic to have them complete, because it isn't time consuming.
I also sort of felt like with the 17-year-old that I was putting her on the spot a little bit. Like while it was going to be like an anonymous questionnaire, she knows that I'm reading and interpreting the results. You know what I mean? I felt like that was like a little bit of an with the single subject. That's a little bit of an added pressure.
What about the format? That was just one of the other things. Do you guys think the format was? Did they fill it out properly? The ones that you handed it to, they had no questions about where to mark it, so the format was good.
Good. I just have to butt in for 1 second, just because I have Dixie's updated the little tool here with the added questions and the scoring at the end. Did we decide that we are indeed going to add race and ethnicity?
Yes.
Okay. Or I'll word it the way that our template words it, the health promotion one. I think it's like cultural identification or something.
Because then that can go under question number 7 too, about changes.
Yep, and there are the 5 extra questions that we added as well. Well, Dixie did, but they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Up here.
So then I'll make sure that I include that, Dixie, when we're really basically now discussing our summary that we're going to be turning in, and pretty much I'll use the new version to talk about the types and number of items of scoring and the method of administration.
Okay,
But I
cool.
think we pretty much did. We all did like an interview except Dixie. Yours was by email. Is
Yes.
that right?
Well, I sent it by email, and then they filled it out and sent it back to me.
Okay.
But then I followed up with a phone call just to ask them, you know, on the ones they had, the one that she had a question with. I did actually talk to her on the phone.
Okay. And as far as number 3, the general summary of the person's interview, the age, gender, SES is what? Lifespan characteristics. How did you recruit the participants? That's Linda's question. And I'm
Right.
going to say that for mine, Linda, mine was a 17-year-old female. And I just recruited her because she's my niece.
Wait, what is SES?
Yes, then.
Socioeconomic status.
Okay. Her social, thank you, because I didn't know what that was.
I didn't know
I
either.
looked it up.
Her social economic status, 17, working. She has a job, but still lives at home with her parents. I'm going to say middle class.
Okay.
So mine was a 17-year-old girl who was a friend's daughter. She worked a couple nights a week as a restaurant hostess. She's a high school student. Probably about middle class as well. White, Caucasian.
Okay.
Mine was African American.
Okay. Thank you.
Actually, that might be a lie. She's Colombian.
Oh.
So she's Caucasian and Colombian. I don't know how you identify that.
Would that be Hispanic?
That would be what she identifies, though. That's what I mean.
So she does identify with being Colombian.
She does.
Okay.
Okay.
She would be Hispanic.
So
Got it.
Linda, mine was a 17-year-old Caucasian female. Let's see, socioeconomic status, middle class. She does work part-time, is attending high school. Let's see here.
Lives at home.
Yep, lives at home. One thing I don't know if we want to add, but she does go to urban high school with low minority and high income. I don't know if we want that in there for socioeconomic at all.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, it was a convenient sample.
Yes. I think all of ours is convenience, aren't they? We'll just make that blanket statement.
Okay.
Okay.
So did we all got you our number 3, our age, gender. We all got you that, Linda?
Dixie, I think I've got yours because I printed yours out. So,
Okay.
socioeconomics on yours, Dixie, is the only thing I don't see.
So they are both white and middle class family. Both parents working. Both parents in the household. Both parents working.
Okay. All right.
So I think we already did number 4.
Mm-hmm.
The overall results of the assessment, but I kind of want to make it more clear. Did the tool identify problems in a particular component or pattern? And what conclusion can we make about the participants' health promotion status based on the tool results? So for this one, Linda, I'm going to say that for my instance, yes, the tool did identify problems that were in a particular pattern.
Right.
Because I was able to see, due to their lack of exercise and poor nutrition and poor scores in family, that was a contribution to the obesity problem. It's not like they scored zeros and then she was within normal weight limits. She was not. So
I think really looking at everybody's, I would say that's probably the consensus on everybody's assessment. Would y'all agree or not?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine is kind of, I mean, she's, with a low BMI, but at risk, for obesity if she weren't to continue exercise for sedentary behavior.
So there's a pattern there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the conclusion that we can make about the participant's health promotion status based on the tool results would be, I think Joni just actually said it.
Mm-hmm. There are at-risk behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or at-risk behaviors identified that we need to address. I'm writing.
Okay, no, you go right ahead.
Okay.
Anything else we can add about number 3 or number 4 for Linda? No? So then, oh, go ahead. So the strengths of the tool, I think we kind of mentioned that it was nice and short.
Right. Concise.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Completed independently without difficulty, minus the one question for the 12-year-old, so I have that kind of limitation. Let's see, these could include information such as how the items or questions reflect the component or pattern conceptually, so the tool might be feasible for use in the workplace. Because I think of the time factor, it's short, it's easy to understand, so it's something that could easily be adapted in a clinic setting or outpatient or a school nurse, for example. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add for strengths?
It's precise. I mean, it's just very easy. I think you said it all, Joni.
Limitations, the only one I think is just maybe on the lower scale, the adolescents, the 12, 13, 14, they might just, you know, just interpreting some of the questions maybe.
Do you think it was too easy for the older teenagers, like that it maybe talked down to them, you know, that the language was too simple for them? Is there such a concept?
No, I think it's good to have it because you just never know how they're going to interpret it. Less is best.
Okay.
Can you see any other limitations for the tool?
We already talked about the difficulty in understanding for the 12 and 13-year-old. The format I thought was good. I didn't think that was a limitation, the format.
Yeah.
And I think with the revision of it that Dixie discovered that the pattern needed to be a little bit different, right, Dixie?
So with the questions, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean with a positive?
I think with the added 5 questions, it kind of delves down into it a little bit more. So it gives you a little bit broader perspective as to what's going on.
I think that might come with number 7. What changes would we suggest? Like we already have the change in place.
Mm-hmm.
And the why would be, you know, once the tool was administered, the limitations, you know, were discovered and adjusted.
Right.
Adjusted for that. There needed to be more questions to get a little bit deeper into the subject matter and to make it a little bit simpler for the younger age group.
The one thing too that I added, like a time frame on the physical, the one where the family does things together.
Mm-hmm.
So I did to make it, because I think for some that they, like I know that the kids that I did one of them put never on there, and I know he does activities with the parents, but I'm thinking just he doesn't, you know, think of it as, so is it weekly? I think it was important to have a time frame.
Well, it helps with your measurements too. So if you're going to use an intervention for that, then you've got something to measure it up against.
Yeah.
So then, how would we use the tool at DRHA to assess our lifespan group?
Who mentioned using it in like a clinic at,
That was, yeah.
did somebody say that?
I did.
Yeah, it could be like a school nurse if they're doing like a health promotion, because I've read some articles where some schools are actually having the school nurse meet with them.
Ooh, I like
Or it
that.
could be in a clinic setting if you have health navigators that are especially working with obese patient populations for weight control and nutrition and.
You know, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I wondered if it could be utilized first at the pediatric clinic, and then they could identify the patients that are more at risk, and then possibly follow-up could be done through the school nurse. I mean, I know that you'd have to get, you know, permissions from the parents and all that, but because you know, a lot of times you may see them for their annual checkup or, you know, their physical, and then they may not come back unless they get sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of mentioned in one of the articles. It talked about, you know, doing it at their preventative health or well child checks. But then there was also another component for like those off years when they don't go in and you have the lower socioeconomic that, you know, maybe can't afford to go into the clinics, that then it's great to have them get captured in the school system.
And I'm
I think it's
wondering
twofold.
if at DRHA, if we could use it to actually have a whole program for obesity for teenagers. If you know, if the hospital could, you know how some hospitals have programs for adults.
Mm-hmm.
If we could do a whole program for teens that would include the components of family, diet, nutrition, social worker, the whole 9 yards, the whole 9 yards, the whole package for improving, you know, for weight reduction. So we'd be using the BMI. We'd have them in an exercise program. In one of the articles that I saw, and we'll start talking about our articles, I saw an article on it was called a motivational interviewing, that they were using this technique to actually motivate people to want to follow a lifestyle of weight reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, in coming to the, if such a program were in place, how would we, because, you know, they may not be motivated to go through the changes that are necessary to change. This motivational interviewing used it said it's a way to guide the care relationship as the patient participated in the relationship and had the opportunity to influence his or her situation without any demands from the nurse. So it was in there to actually have the person to start the lifestyle change process.
And going on that, actually at my clinic setting, we have health navigators that do that motivational interviewing, and it's an amazing asset, you know, to do that assessment, because it you engage the patient and you kind of see where they're kind of like trans theoretically, you see where they're at their change to make changes for themselves, and you work together to develop the health promotion plan. Because it's ironic you bring that up, because that was kind of when we talked about interventions, I thought would be a great one.
That's really good. I didn't even know. Like, I was just finding this article, and I had not really heard of it. But you actually
We do it.
use it at your place.
Yeah, we do it for weight loss, smoking cessation, diabetes, just for, you know, their management. All the chronic disease.
Wow, that's really great. So this would be a good article to keep, huh?
Yeah, it's very. I've read a lot of papers on it, and it's very proven to be effective.
Oh, so this could be like my article, huh?
Yeah.
What I was saying, I found a few of them, but I wasn't that excited about one.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe this one might be exciting to me then. Very good. Anybody else have any? I might share another one of mine, but anybody else have any articles that they want to
Oh,
talk about?
can I just go back to DRHA? Because I was kind of looking back at their mission, vision, and values. And, just looking at their strategic talks about research and innovation, supportive health promotion, risk reduction, lifelong learning. So all of these components tie into, if we were to develop this plan and have adolescent prevention or promotion of health for obesity.
Great. Anybody else?
Want to share articles now?
Yeah, sure.
I guess I can go first.
Okay, great.
My article, I was looking at my, health assessment with my lowest score being the screen time 2+. So it is called Adolescent Screen Time and Rules to Limit Screen Time in the Home. So it went through different behaviors and looking at parent participation as well on, interventions on removing access to electronics in the bedroom, setting timers so that way they only had certain time to be doing, extracurricular activities, whether it be on their phones, computers, or, the PlayStations, Xbox, and all of that. So it was, very, the results showed, basically was a sedentary behavior leading to obesity. So it kind of ties in with what we were talking about.
Okay, that sounds really good.
Yeah, now, well, just one thing. It also talked about having clear rules and the parent and the child working together and kind of having like even a little contract and even signing it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So my computer's a little bit frozen, but I can still see you. You're just kind of frozen there.
Okay.
And I'm not able to pull up my article, but I will just share the kind of whole theory behind it was I was looking for mostly family, health promotion and intervention because I had noticed that my teenager had scored so low in the section for family. And this one was like an 8 or 9 month, I literally can't pull it up, intervention where once every couple of weeks they'd have these sort of like group sessions where they would involve a parent with the children, and they would be educational. They would learn different like types of exercises. I can't pull up my stuff, but I thought that was really cool the way that they included parents with their kids, so that when the parents were empowered and they were engaged, so they'd go home and kind of carry on with their healthy lifestyle. It would roll over for both the parents and the children. This is totally frozen.
Anybody else?
Well, I have one that talks about a 15-week program that was, it's called HOPE, COPE, Healthy Lifestyles and Teen Program for Overweight and Depressive Symptoms in High School Adolescents. And it basically deals with cognitive behavioral skills building intervention for 20 minutes of physical activity. And it's integrated into a health course and taught by the teachers for 15 weeks. And what it showed was that the BMI level of those that participated opposed to those healthy teens programs was significantly diminished on their BMI levels. So it was something that incorporates the school into it. The kids that go home and, are lock-key kids that sit around and eat and watch TV. This gives them another avenue to do some physical activity if they're not involved in outside sports and whatnot. So I just thought it was pretty cool.
So, Linda, you were talking about cognitive beliefs too. I had another article that kind of talked about healthy lifestyle beliefs, perceived, and then also healthy lifestyle choices, and kind of in that same respect, pulling in their beliefs. If they have a positive attitude, then they'll be more willing to make those changes.
Right, which goes into the trans-theoretical model that we're
Right. Yep.
I had a hard time finding articles. Most of them were in foreign countries. But there was one that had this Real Fit intervention, which is a 13-week weight reduction program, and that involved parents as well. It had actually has 3 different sessions with the parents, with a dietitian, psychologist, and everything. So, but I didn't really get to read a lot of it.
Well, I found one too that was it was a health promotion plan for diabetes, and I know we're dealing with obese teenagers, but I know like a lot of teens and obese people are undiagnosed diabetics because of their weight. And in this article, it was like the effect of health promotion on diagnosis and management of diabetes. And they were saying that, and actually it's in English, but it was a Korean health and nutrition examination survey. And they did before and after health promotion program and investigated the changes in healthcare utilization and its impact on the prevalence of diagnosed and undiagnosed diabetes, as well as good management of the disease. Because, you know, with most diabetics, they need to exercise and lose weight. That's kind of how I drew that parallel. And they're saying that the conclusion was that the increase in preventative health care through they use medical checkups among less educated older people. And they were saying that the free medical checkups were helpful in preventative care, and that it winds up being a positive experience in their it was like a public health campaign. And it was a positive, the free checkups actually was allowing for improved detection and management of the diabetes. So I was thinking, using that as a parallel in talking about and thinking about our health promotion plan for our obese adolescents, you know, including those, the checkups, you know, having a very thorough physical exam to look for any problems with, you know, potentially their blood sugar. That's usually a big thing, or blood pressure. A lot of teens now that are overweight are having blood pressure and blood sugar problems like an adult.
True.
Well, there's the rise. Oops, sorry. There's the rise of the type 2, you know, with those adolescents.
Right, and they're saying that, you know, with the type 2 diabetes, that there are so many adults that are undiagnosed with that.
Oh, yeah.
There's actually a study that they're recommending when people go in for their yearly checks, they just do screenings on everybody now.
Right. They do. They check the hemoglobin A1C. Like if they see a little problem with the blood sugar, they will automatically check the hemoglobin A1C, and they've been, you know, able to diagnose diabetes a lot more.
There's actually some healthcare centers that are they're asymptomatic and they're doing the A1C.
Wow. That's good.
Well, it is, because you got genetics that play in there that, you know, teenagers are not going to know about. And so it gives you a better understanding of what may be going on with that child, even though they may not look like they have any symptoms. You know, those things are hard to diagnose until you get into a situation like in an ASC to have orthopedic surgery because they're, you know, play ball or something, and then you find out that they're diabetic or hypertensive. So.
And I want to know, what search words did you guys use? Because I just felt like I was hitting a lot of roadblocks with trying to find you know, it's like I was looking up health promotion planning, and I just wasn't really getting what I think I really wanted. Does that make sense?
Leaving the word plan out helped me, and like I said, I was focused on like family just because that's what my person scored the least in. So I would do family, promotion, I did child obesity. I think that gets a lot more hits than the word adolescent for some reason.
Okay.
Maybe
I
a
did.
lot more things came up because at first I was doing like health promotion plan for adolescent with obesity, and I wasn't finding anything. So I still think it was super hard to find. A lot of the stuff was back to like the diabetes and not so much like our little basic risk factors. You know, I don't know. It's a little more specific than what we were looking for.
I was doing health promotion, obesity, and adolescent for one of my searches, and then the other one I did prevention, obesity, adolescent.
Okay.
Sharon, I did obesity, adolescent, and health promotion in CINAHL. So,
Okay.
and there's like 997 articles in there.
Okay. So it was the way I was wording it. That's what it was.
Yeah, because you got to do
doing
subject and then the text. Yeah.
Did anybody have any other articles that they wanted to share?
I had one other one, but I can't, like, my computer, my screen's still frozen, so as long as you guys can still see me, then we're good.
Yeah. So now, with all that we've kind of discussed, do we feel like we are starting to formulate what some ideas might be for our actual, because I guess we'll be putting together our individual plans.
Yeah.
So, you know, looking at, and I have my trans-theoretical model open here, Joni. Trans-theoretical model of change. So do we feel like we can actually think about start thinking about a plan for our age group?
For intervention or our health promotion plan?
Right. What do you guys think it is to make it a little bit clear? I'm thinking it is, especially, you know, the motivational, like I'm starting to get ideas for how to use this for our group.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm just because I have experience with it in a clinic setting with different populations, you know, I would promote the motivational interviewing because I've seen firsthand how much it works and the success of it. We just had our first smoker. He's in our smoking cessation with motivational interviewing, and now he's been 1 week smoke-free.
Wow. Does that work for chocolate?
Yeah.
Chocolate is
Females.
healthy.
There's chocolate in females.
In moderation.
Okay. So, can our timekeeper, have we hit our mark yet for our time? Does anyone have anything else they would like to add for tonight's session?
Just to double check, you guys said you would do your little question answering, your little sections of each, and post it to the discussion board by tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Where are we with time, Dixie?
I think we're good. We've it's 9:03. I know we tried to get back on right around 8. So even though I was delayed, I don't know. We've been on at least 45 minutes.
We've been on for collectively an hour and a half, but
Yes, exactly.
Joni sent that one email, and that was like 45 minutes ago, at the beginning of our session, just to do the week 5 or whatever there. I think we
that was right at the start of it.
fulfilled our time.
And Dixie, while you were away, if it's okay with you, while we were all trying to get back on this call, we kind of the others of us kind of thought that I can't talk anymore. That we would just give our that we would just put our parts of this summary on the discussion board, and Alex was just going to put it together and submit it because it's what we're putting is what we were saying. I can't talk. I'm done talking, I guess.
You're making your point. Don't worry.
I'm in the loop. And that she wouldn't have to like submit it to us and everything since time is not on our side. Is that okay with you?
And I'm totally fine. If I can get a chance, I'll bring my computer to work tomorrow night. And usually I'm supposed to be getting an hour, 45 minutes for a break. But Sometimes I don't take one, but I can just try my best and put it together and post it back on the If it's up to you, if you're not comfortable with it, I don't care. Or I can just submit it by Thursday.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. I'm not really going to do much to it. I'm just going to slap it all together.
You're going to put it together beautifely.
It's going to be
Yes.
great. A lot of copy and pasting. I'll revise it.
Just want to make sure our paragraphs are good. At least 5 sentences.
Right.
It'll
Yeah.
be fine. I'm not worried about it. And I don't know if you were if you were here, Dixie. It does have to be 3 pages long. Although I'm looking at the other little rubric and it says 3 pages maximum, and then the other thing said it has to be 3 pages. So I don't know.
Well,
Feel free, Alex, if you need to, if my section isn't long enough, or reach out to me if you want to add something as well.
Oh yeah, that's
I
fine.
just
Like
wanna
I
throw
said,
that
if
out there
I need to beef it up a little bit, that's fine by me as long as you guys are okay with it.
I think what's going to happen is we're probably going to have more than 3 pages.
Okay.
By the time we all write our parts, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
What about references?
Yeah, that was going to be my question, Joni.
Yeah.
If you have a citation, if you have a reference in your section, just submit that with it.
I can't.
I didn't, let's see here. I don't know if I'll per se.
Because
Yeah.
I'm going to when I list the components and the patterns chosen, I'm going to cite the textbook because that's how we came up with what we were going to choose.
Right.
Good.
And when I provide a brief description of the tool, well, I probably won't have one with the tool because that's kind of what we did, but
Right.
I will definitely have a couple of references for the components and the patterns that we chose for the tool by our group and the rationale.
I'll probably have one for both of mine at least. Because I've got this
Okay. All we need is 2. So.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I think we should be fine. I think everything sounds good. And then we can all work on our individual health promotion plans, and we're also supposed to submit those to our own discussion board separately so everyone can take a look at those.
And our annotated bibliographies by Sunday.
Right. So by Thursday, we have to have our summary, and then also post
The tool itself. So
Right.
Yeah.
the summary and the new improved tool.
I've got the new and improved tool here, and I can post that whenever. But I'll post it as an attachment to our summary because that's going to be copy and pasted. And then Sharon, you're going to submit the link.
Yes, I will do that tonight, actually.
Okay, so just let us know how we do for points, I guess.
I will. Okay, well, I'm
And
going
then
to...
that just has to go to, oh, sorry.
That's okay. What you want to say, Joni?
Oh, I was just going to say for both the Dropbox and our board, for the link, it's got to go to both spots.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to say?
I think we're good. We're going to meet the same time next week.
Yes. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank
Hey,
you.
good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks,
Good night.
ladies.
Good night.